All right, now you should be able to hear me, I believe. Let me know before I continue. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay. All right. Let's try that here. Let's just do all of this all over again, okay? They call me a god. 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 Let's go. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show with sound this time. How's everybody doing? Thank you, everybody in chat, for helping me work out my technical issues that seem to happen often. And yeah, there is a bit of delay between the chat and EVMux. A bit more with EVMux than others too. I'm behind a good 20 to 30 seconds. It goes back and forth. But hi, deconstructing Laura, how to roll an asteroid, Jess, PC. We had a great talk the other day, didn't we, PC? Karisu, or that was yesterday. Look at the trees. Who else is here? Big Bad Mama in the house. Poor Claire. I'm scrolling really fast. I thought I seen Hell Satan past the Amy. Is Hell Satan here? Oh, no, that's just somebody saying. All right. What's up, everybody? Okay, so the title of this video is a bit provocative, I admit, and I do have a challenge for creationists. But let's do business first before we play with our food, okay? So, Ark Encounter stuff. Hey, we had the fundraiser and it went great, and a lot of people are noticing, and Kent getting out there and running his mouth in multiple shorts and videos about they will be at the Ark Encounter has made the people who shit watch Kent aware of it, and so we've got shit watch instead of hate watch. It's shit watch Kent, but so we're getting eyes on it, and Godless Granny contacted me asking for information and said that she will be there. So we're getting the word out, and in the process of doing that too, you know, hats off to Jess as always. But we've got a new ad to show, and you may have seen it as the thumbnail for this, but here it is. ArkEncounterProtest.com, and the information, the date, the speakers, which we had to amend a little bit because of, orange people suck. And sponsored by Pangburn. I like the "we don't give 2 bits for your qubits" down in the bottom. Really good stuff. Well-made ad by the always professional, always amazing Jess. Thank you, Jess, for that. I'll be recording a little piece of video to go along with that and make an actual ad that I'll be paying to promote on YouTube. So if you start getting my ads in your videos, I'm not sorry, but it may happen. The challenge for creationists, B.S. Lewis. We'll get there. We'll get there. Stick with me. I had to dangle something in front of you to get you here, So I'm just joking. That's not anything to do with it. So anyhow, I've lost things. I've lost everything. The audio doesn't work. It's a train wreck, folks. Everybody fucking run. So we have been doing a lot of pushing this stuff through various social media, YouTube videos, going on other channels. I've tried to be on every channel that will let me come on and talk about it. I'm there for it, you know, like uh, we're trying to yeah, I always break it. But we're trying really hard to talk about this a lot and things. And I know, look, I feel you guys. I know the constant creationist nonsense wears on you. It can be exhausting, and so just understand that there's a reason for it. Okay, um, because I mean, I think that if most of the people in the audience and I were to sit down and have a conversation about this, which we can do today, because this is also a open panel. Anybody who wants to join, you just need to like tag me and let me know so I can find a way to send it to you, because I can't post links in the public chat. Doesn't work out well. So so anyway, I'm trying to really push these things a lot, and do things like debates and all that to help at least drive people to, hey, we're talking about this issue, this thing that you're interested in, creationist stuff, and here's an ad for the protest coming up for a whole bunch of people wanting to demonstrate their activism. So uh, so there's a reason to it, and try making a YouTube career off Oven. Well, I think that's what we're going to do here, Cariso. We're going to shift gears, and I'm going to only talk about Hoven. Uh, which, look, a lot of you guys that cover Hoven a whole lot, uh, you catch some flack, and people say, "Well, you just, the only thing you want to talk about is Kent Hoven, this and that." And hey, I think that Kent Hoven deserves lots of channels uh, debunking the things that he says, and I don't think there's, uh, while I don't always think that engaging with Kent is the best idea, under normal circumstances, I've turned down Kent Hovind debates dozens of times and didn't want to do it, and it was because of my personal feelings about it, not anything else. And uh, the the only thing that changed there is that um, sometimes there is a greater goal that I can achieve through um, getting in the mud a little bit, So that's what we did, and I think that it's great to see people. Hey, I'm going to show a Kent Hovind clip today. I am going to show you why Kent Hovind is a failure today, and in fact, we'll put out a second challenge too. And I'll even look. There's a prize if you can complete this challenge. Let's just go ahead and get into that, right? We got 15 people here. I see Big Bad Mama and Karisu and PC. Captive Desk Dave over there just hit 500. Congratulations, Dave. Um, look at the trees, my buddy. Uh, so I'm not going to say what the prize is, and I will put out there that I can't promise that you'll think you really won anything. But let's talk about, in fact, we'll just call this my response to my own Kent Hovind debate. This is my final thoughts about it. So I didn't plan on doing this, so give me a second to pull up this video. Oh, hold on. Before we play with our food, gosh, I'm crazy. ADD's hard at it today, doing all the work. Before that, if you're looking for information about the Ark Encounter protest, arkencounterprotest.com is your place to go and find links and updated information. we're doing our best to keep all that updated for you guys. There's also links to everything in the description of all of my videos since we started pushing this. So any of my videos for the last few months will have links to everything in it. It's set to default post those in every video. Um, the If you put exclamation arc in the chat like Pragmatic Crystal did there, you can pull up the information anytime you want yourself. It will list it there. I think that works for everyone. Definitely my mods, but for sure that. So all of my social media accounts, Bluesky, Instagram, my TikTok. Hey, my TikTok has a whole bunch of different stuff. Most of it made by Jess, honestly, but has a whole bunch of different stuff that you don't usually see on the channel. So there's a lot of cool videos and stuff over there. I've shared a lot of the stuff Jess has made and things, and some of it has gotten quite a bit of views. So go check me out on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Bluesky and all those places. And there's nowhere you can go and not find information about the Ark Encounter protest related to me. So, but Jess had recently made a badass little metal video, "We the Drowned," that shows some of our. I'll let it speak for itself. Here we go, folks. Here we go. All right. So if that doesn't get you pumped, nothing will. That is an amazing piece of work done by Jess. How to Rule an Asteroid. Jess is linked in the description. Go over to her channel and subscribe and stuff. Jess is awesome, and I mean the work that it's just sometimes Jess makes things and it almost brings a tear to my eye. It's so good, and it's but thank you, Jess. Amazing work that you've done for this, and yeah, I need to put a command for Jess in the chat, command bot too, don't I? Good call, Amber. I'll do that. But yeah, I mean, let me tell you something. In the history of the Kentucky Atheist YouTube channel, which is very short and not all that eventful, there have been a couple moments that have completely either just major milestone moments that have made all of this possible. And although the initial involvement of Jess with representatives of this channel was not great, Jess and I finally got to sit down and talk a little bit, and it's one of the one of my greatest friends I found there in Jess, and has really sacrificed her time and demonstrated her ability to do these things. And for that, I thank you, Jess. That's as heartfelt um, as I can be about it. I think at the moment. Um, I love you, Jess, and I appreciate you. And great job. All right, so I think that let's do the Kent Hovind debate review first, because that's going to be fast. And also, open panel guys, if you want a link, let me know. I'll put it somewhere. Message me on Discord would be the best place to ask for it. But um, just let me know, and you can join. And I don't care whether you agree with me or disagree. If you want to talk, it's an open panel. We can talk. Um, do not cry, Jess. You're amazing. You deserve it. You deserve more than I can give you. But the so Ken Hovind debate. Um, Debating Kent Hovind was not part of the plan. It was a surprise to me. Really, I had gotten information that Kent and his cult would be coming to the Ark Encounter protest, and so trying to be a professional about it, I said, let's give Kent a call and, let him know that we're aware he's coming, first of all, and that let's try to accommodate that in a non disruptive way, right? Because even though I feel in whatever way about Kent Hovind and his history and some of the things, no matter how I feel about Kent Hovind, it's an open public event. He was coming, and the most important part for me is to provide a safe event and to have it go as peacefully and good as possible. And so I felt like that it was more important, even if it was a lost cause, to try and get out in front of that and contact Kent Hovind myself and say, hey, Kent, we'd love to work with you on this. Why don't you let us schedule you, let us kind of work you into these things where you want to be, so we can do it in a non-disruptive manner instead of yelling at people who are trying to talk on stage and just making an ass of yourself. Let me help you. Help me help you, Kent. Um, that was kind of the idea. And so um, during that call, which I recorded, and I'm not going to play it here today, but essentially Kent tried to debate me about evolution and things in that call. He he said, "Well, today's our 9th anniversary," and wanted me to debate him right there on the spot. And had I not had other things scheduled, I may have taken him up on it. But I had other things I had to do. Um, so yeah, one sec. All right, sorry guys, had to tell Mrs. Kentucky Atheist to put the dinner in the fridge. We're doing important things here. We're doing the Lord's work, and so I told Kent, I said, hey, look, Kent, I want to work with you on this art stuff and all that other stuff you're going on about. If you want to talk about that, we can sit down and talk about it. We'll do that. I want to work with you and make this go as smoothly as possible. So let's figure something out. And Joseph, who I had already debated unknowingly, a resident of DAL, um, Joseph does a lot of the scheduling and the contacting and the links and such to set up Kent's videos and debates and things. So, um, so I had talked to Joseph. Joseph said, "Hey, we can do it Friday. Debate night's Friday. We need somebody, so let's do it then." And he said, "What topic do you want?" And asked me if I wanted to bring my own moderator and all that. And let me say, Kent Hovind and the people that I've dealt with from DAL have been nothing but kind and friendly to me. They have not been rude or like shitty in any way at all. They've been really good about all this. So I do appreciate being able to act like even if we're not professionals necessarily, to behave in a professional manner, like to take it seriously and let's do this right. If you want to do it, it'll work out better for everyone if we can do it right. Karisu, for all the mistakes that happen and we laugh at DAL, in all seriousness, he does a pretty good job with what he has to work with at DAL. I mean, I don't disagree. I think for what Kent's goals are, he's incredibly efficient. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, Kent has some goals. But so I think that I was going to just make a short out of this, and I still may make that short. But I think that I've boiled down to a couple of points here of why we disagree with creationists so much, like on a fundamental level. This isn't all the evidence and all those things that point to their claims being false. This is like more of a philosophical thing. But let me get that for you real quick. Let me just pull that up for you real quick. Don't cross the streams. Again, it's an open panel. I'll give anybody a link that wants it. Let's see. Did I not upload this already? Why? Why did I not upload this? Okay. 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 Well, if we're going to do it like that, oh boy. If we're going to do it like that, let's just do this instead. Let's just take that off. Sorry, folks. The extreme level of preparedness here at the Kentucky Atheist is something to see. All right, so what do we got here? Can't debate. Yeah, where's the one though where he? Okay, right here. All right.
Takes place over many generations, so you can't see it.
All right, hold on here, because I've got two of these that really drive home my point. All right, is everybody ready? Gag warning: Kent Hovind incoming. That's the best I can do. But here is, I think, as far as arguing with Kent, the impasse that we have. And this is silly, don't get me wrong, but think about it for a second, what he's saying.
See, it takes place over many generations, so you can't see it. Well, that makes it not science. See, it takes place over many generations, so you can't see it. Well, that makes it not science. See, it takes place over many generations, so you can't see it. Well, that makes it not science. See, it takes place over many generations, so you can't see it. Well, that makes it not science.
All right. I think that I wanted to let it play a couple times so that you could really, really feel it in the pit of your stomach. this is stupid. This is not, okay. It's a stupid thing to say. I'm not calling Kent stupid. Um, I'm saying that this is just a. I would love this, and this is the second challenge. Okay, we'll get to the first challenge second. This is the second challenge first, so get ready. Okay, now there's a prize for creationists for this one. What Kent just said, the person that you all look up to as Doctor Hovind, defend what Kent just said. That's it. Simple, right? Defend that statement from Ken Hovind. And you can say it's pulled out of context and all those things, which it is kind of, but it's not misleading. He was he made this claim, this big claim about science, that if you can't see it, it's not science. Um, Please defend that claim. Anyone, Kent, you're welcome. We can talk again if you want. Anybody who wants to defend this position, you're welcome to. Again, this is an open panel, so you could even do it now if you wanted. Um, if you know, if you're down for that kind of dumpster fire. Um, anyway, so and here's the second, and a shout out to Big Bad Mama. Big Bad Mama has already made a short containing part of this this particular part of the debate, but I still want to talk about it too. So, all right.
People who've seen dinosaurs still alive, like Loch Ness Monster and Lake Champlain Monster and Mokele Mbembe in the Congo swamp. I've interviewed people who've seen dinosaurs still alive, like Loch Ness Monster and Lake Champlain Monster and Mokele Mbembe in the Congo swamp. I've interviewed people who've seen dinosaurs still alive, like Loch Ness Monster and Lake Champlain Monster and Mokele Mbembe in the Congo swamp. I've interviewed.
Okay. So we have, if you can't see it, it's not science, and the claims of people, no matter how extraordinary, should be taken at face value. Um, that's uh, that's what Kent is, and that second one is inferred, right? I'm not. Kent just is stating that he's talked to people, and the context of this is that I said, we don't find human fossils with sauropods, and we don't we don't find things mixed up in places they're not supposed to be. That is essentially what we were talking about. Kent was arguing for hydrologic sorting, and I was telling him that doesn't work, and so I had said we don't find things where they should be. And Kent said, well, I've talked to people who've said this, and this was immediately following the comment about science has to be seen. So it's kind of confusing because Kent didn't see those things, and he accepts those claims at face value. But whenever I tell him how evolution works and provide the mechanisms, no, 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 those can't be true. Nothing about how the development of the universe can be true because we didn't see it. But if someone else claims to have seen something, that can be taken at face value. This is a very dishonest way of arguing. So essentially, what's happening is that you're being put in this position of your information is no good, and I don't need to support mine. That's kind of uh, the stance that he's taken here is you need to prove, you Kentucky simpleton need to explain the workings of evolution and geology and all these things, and I need to explain nothing. And that brings us to the creationist challenge, right? Very simple challenge for you creationists, and um, I don't know. I'll work out some kind of thing if you can. I'll give you a gift card or something to anyone who can um, come and do this. But my challenge to you is simply this: defend your position. Don't I don't want to talk about evolution. I don't want to talk about any of those other things. You're the one making the claim that science, the scientific consensus has demonstrated why it disagrees. Now you say that that's wrong. Fine. Defend your position and explain why your position is true. And let me let me give you a few specifics here, because apparently we need to define some terms. Uh, Evidence. I'm not claiming there is zero evidence for your claims, creationists. What I am claiming is that you have shitty evidence to no evidence for your claims, and that your position is one of the most dishonest ones you can hold. Um, you sit and you want to attack science and the I mean, let's face it, the education of children. You want to attack those things while at the same time never having the things that you demand. You set these goals of, I must show you a cow giving birth to a dog in order to somehow prove evolution, and your standards are as ridiculous as your claims, and that's been shown. So whenever we talk about evidence, if I say, oh, the way these layers are laid out is evidence that it happened over millions or billions of years. If I say that statement, and then you go and say, well, those layers are laid out is evidence of a flood that laid them all out at once. Okay? So we have two competing ideas about evidence. And this is going to be the tricky part for you. Okay. So if if I can look at the rocks and make any conclusion that I want to come to and say that those are all equally valid, then they're all equally invalid as well. The But we have a process to address that issue, right? We don't stop there. Um, so let's make a process to put these things through. And I don't know, maybe we can call it the scientific method or like something like that. I mean, but let's come up with a process to assess the claims about the natural world that you're making. Um, we have the tools to do that. And the best tool we have to do that is the scientific method. And so what we can do is we can take your claim that it's from a flood and my claim that there are layers laid down over billions of years, and we can expose them both to that process. Now, if you want to adjust whatever process we're going to assess claims by, then propose that process. But very importantly, we're going to put other claims that you make through that exact same process, because this is where you fail. Like, you can make a claim about evolution that sounds reasonable occasionally, like when you're trying to poke holes in it. But the problem with most of those is that they're refuted by whole other branches of science that show that that's not the case. And so what happens there is your claim is contradicted by other supported claims and evidence, right? So we've studied other things, genetics, whatever, and not even trying to find support for evolution, we were able to make predictions and things though, and nothing ever contradicted the natural explanation for the diversity of life on Earth today. None of it's contradicted by any other branch of science. You don't have that. And that's the thing. If we put your claims through these same processes, we find, oh, yeah, that works in this case, but it's contradicted here. Um, oh, hey, yeah, you can say that about, all the things lived and died 6,000 years old, but what about the heat problem? Like, are we going to address that? Because the heat problem has been a just thorn, or I don't know, spear maybe, in the side of creationists for some time. And they have no answer. They usually resort to, you don't know, you weren't there, or miracle. And I am willing to let you tap out at any point and say it's a miracle. That's fine, because we have no tools to study the claims of miracles, um, unless they have an effect on the natural world. At which point we can look at it. And again, we have a process for that. And all I want you to do is be consistent in the way that we look at these claims. Because obviously that was the big takeaway from my debate with Kent Hovind, is that there was a different standard depending on whether the things he was saying were propaganda for creationist places, or he was being somewhat honest at times. And Kent did openly, I do have an answer to the heat problem, and I'll sell it to Ken Ham, for sufficient cash to end world hunger. Hey, I'm all for that. Uh, I am all for that. Nonsense that you can't dispute, or you would, yeah. So I I found that, and let me just talk about my performance debating Kent Hovind, because there's been a lot of different takes on it and things, and I never went into this claiming to be great at debating. In fact, I've said over and over, I'm not good at debating. It's, I'm better at sitting down and let's just have a talk, or like we can argue or whatever. But the whole debate thing doesn't really, I'm just not good at it. Okay. I've done few of them and I'm not great at it. Um, so I never claimed any of that. And I've always said that I'm just some guy from Kentucky. I'm not an expert. I'm just a dude with a YouTube channel. Like, uh, yes, I care deeply about the community. Yes, I care deeply about activism, on many issues. So there's, of course, those things, and many of you are my friends and acquaintances because of those things, or various other reasons, whatever. None of that really matters. But the not the why question anyway. But I can't find my rolling tray. Um, this will work. So uh, a debate on the value of debates. I would be interested in, but see, here's the problem. What we do on YouTube isn't a debate. Um, that's it's just not, it's not what it is. The value of YouTube debates. Look, I think that's a good one. I would be interested in doing that just for the fun of doing it, Ember. But I do want to preface that with, I do think there is a good value to the debates and things, even with Kent Hovind, maybe even especially with Kent Hovind. Um, I think that there is great value in talking about the information and stuff. But here's the let me put a lot of caveats in front of that. So, um, first of all, it's always been the goal of places like ICR and AIG and Ken Hovind, Frank Turek, um, what's his name, Banana Dude, Ray Comfort. It's always been their goal to. It's always been their goal to to be the person that they are, right? Like that doesn't make sense. They want to they care less. They understand deeply that the goal of a YouTube debate isn't to win the debate or provide the most accurate information. The goal of a YouTube debate is to convince the people that already agree with you that you're right, and it's very performative. It's you know, if we sit down and did a written debate or something, which none of these apologists are going to engage in because um, if we have to address each source and things, they would be completely destroyed in a debate. But the debates are very helpful, but not all debates are equal. Um, not not every not everybody has the same goals in these YouTube debates. It's not to come and make the best case you can for or against the proposition. That's never been the goal of any of these debates, and it's not my goal in debating them either. And with debate, generally, your debate isn't about necessarily your bias. It's about, can you defend a particular proposition? Um, and can I cast sufficient doubt on that proposition to to um, to the audience? So whenever we that's not that's not at all what's going on in YouTube debates, though, is it? Is Blessed Be He here? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Uh, Never mind. I got lost, guys. Sorry. I'm trying to talk and roll a big fatty and all that at the same time. So, and one of the things that gets lost is that let's look at the big picture here. What did we see? Um, what did we see happen in like every debate that takes place about this young Earth creationism topic? We see that those debates usually contain nothing about young Earth creationism. Um, they The fact that you want to come to a self-proclaimed simpleton from Kentucky and make me defend evolution in a debate about creationism is kind of weird, kind of fucked up, kind of not how things work. Um, and that's one of the reasons that you know, we clash about this because okay, that's fine. You claim these things, but like, and you want to co-opt evidence and all that. But let's look at it in a vacuum for a moment. And the thing I want to point out, and this is true, um, absent the Bible, you have zero, zero evidence or reason to claim the Christian God and the Christian creationism story. And if you want to propose that we can take the claims of others as evidence at face value, then welcome to Islam, welcome to Hinduism. What what are you doing? Let's um let's ask James Tour about the evidence for creation. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can still man James Tour because I always start by telling people that I'm not smart. Uh, and that would just be where the fuck the fans on? It blew away my rolling paper. Hold on, for fuck's sake, Jesus Christ! It's like, look what God just did to me. All right. So we get this this thing of it's like the reason that I a lot of times take issue with many of these debates is because you have the person who understands evolution and can give that information to you, communicate it to you in a way that you will understand. There's no shortage of folks out there that can do that, and that are experts, or that are a better source than me to ask about those things. But whenever I say creationism doesn't seem to be the case, the Bible seems to be false, and your God is an imaginary tyrant. Um, I say those things, and the the problem is that absent the Bible, you have no claim. Even you don't even have the claim. You're so we get to this point to where we just can't go on. And if you want to, the me, the self-proclaimed simpleton from Kentucky, once again, um, why are you asking me to explain the finer details of evolution? Why would you ask me that? Why would you ask a person who's an atheist to explain evolution for you when that information is out there and available, and from reputable sources? So why would it be my job to answer those things? And why would it? Part two of that question: why would it be not your job to defend the position that you're claiming is true, instead of attacking one that no one said anything about in that question? Um, what is that? Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll talk about that later. We'll wait till we can confirm that some just before we announce that. I'm bringing so much weed to the party, son. Hey, I'm with you. There's for sure a whole group of us that's going to be sitting around smoking a bunch of weed. Um, I one of the cooler things about Kentucky dispensaries, well, at least it's supposed to be the case, is that the the weed at Kentucky dispensaries is grown in Kentucky, so we get to have some Kentucky weed, which is pretty good. Uh, and of course, they have various strains and stuff, but which is really the point. But the I'll have plenty of weed for anybody that wants to hang out and burn one. I of course will be busy with a lot of things, but uh, I will make time for weed. My mouth is already so dry that the paper didn't even stick. Damn it. There it goes. All right. So, um, we're going to smoke before and after. Yeah, and probably during. The It's legal, for me, so whatever. But these creationists, though, they want to, like, is creationism a good explanation for the world we see today? Is it a good explanation for anything? Any of those questions you ask should be the response should be something defending that position. But instead, the response is always evolution is bullshit, abiogenesis is bullshit. Um, but I love science and I respect science. They always want to say, no, I like science. I just don't think evolution is science. Unfortunately, that can also be shown to be factually false. Um, and again, one of the questions that I think really got to Kent anyway was like, you want to say that evolution isn't true while evolution is the basis for so many other disciplines of science. And so, if evolution is not true, then all the studies that all these places have done confirming evolution through many various disciplines of science, they're all wrong. Everything's wrong. Our understanding of radiometric dating is wrong. Our understanding of thermodynamics is really wrong. Our understanding of the natural world is 100% bullshit. Now, you can claim that, which is essentially what you're claiming when you say these things. Um, but can you support it? And you can't. Um, Stay lit, bitch. And they can't defend these positions. So their tactic is to then attack things that are established science, you know? Um, to misrepresent the uses of the word theory and to misrepresent and quote mine scientific papers. One of the things I talk about is almost 100% of the time when a creationist makes a claim, a sourced claim, and I go look up that source, it's either a lie, doesn't exist, or doesn't say that. Um, and they do this thing a lot where they go and find a real scientific paper in a reputable peer-reviewed journal like Nature or whatever else, and they go and they find the part of that that agrees with them in a paper demonstrating that they're wrong. And we call this cherry picking or quote mining. Zach's all over it. Dade's all over it. Um, that's that's what they do. That's their only really tool. That and outright dishonesty and sometimes vitriol. But the my God hates cherry skit, and that's awesome. Is anybody going to join this open panel? We got 23 people, and nobody wants to come talk to me. This is live to the whole world. Millions and millions of people will see this, or at least have the choice to. But I think that clips like this, or well, I won't play it, but clips like the first one where Kent Hovind says, "We can't see it; it's not science." I think that we should hold their feet to the fire on comments like this, and so Kent Hovind, I will debate you one more time, but instead of the kind, friendly, let you just throw whatever shit out in the open you want and ignore my questions and uh, unmoderated, like whatever. Like I still think if we're gonna say somebody won and lost that debate, I still think you got your ass kicked, which I know you and your people disagree. They think you've never lost a debate, um, but let's do one more, and only why don't you defend your position instead of asking a random dude from Kentucky to explain evolution to you for the 385th time, I think was that debate. Um, and the thousands upon thousands of open mics and panel things and all that. Why don't you defend your position? And Aaron Ross says that creationism is the attempt to defend the indefensible, something like that. That's not a direct quote. So, um, but I think that we all do agree on part of that, though, is that um, whenever you really look at it, the fundamentalist view of the Bible is indefensible. Um, the and so all right, Zach's gonna come on and talk to me. 1 second, guys. Let me give Zach a link. Should I talk in my game show announcer voice from now on? We're going to send a link out to Zach right now and see if we can get the shaken fist here on the Kentucky Atheist. Should I talk like that from now on? What is the problem? There it is. All right, got you a link, Zach. Please come and talk to me. One going out to Dave too, and we'll get some other folks on here. Sorry for the delay and the boringness while we get these links to people. Hang with me here. In fact, here, watch this real quick. Page. Boom.
Hi, Joe. How you doing? It's such a pleasure to be here on the Kentucky Atheist on this nice game show. How you doing? That was a joke from a while ago. Didn't work. Whatever. How you doing? Word.
All right. What am I? I'm getting a Discord thing here.
We're all piling in now.
What's up, Dave and Zach, coming to us from across the pond?
What's
Hi.
up, gentlemen? How you doing?
What up, yo? Dave and his very excellent hearing.
Dave's my bestie. He made it to 500 now. He gets to we'll tell him the secrets of big atheism and teach him the new handshake and the new recipe for babies. And
I'll get there.
Well,
soon.
I only got there because of all you great folks helping me out. So appreciate it.
yeah.
Congratulations, Dave.
Thank you, Zach. Yeah, you're pretty close, aren't you?
I am, but I grow at a snail's pace.
Oh, it's coming, Zach. Your channel is one of the happiest discoveries I made. There was a whole big mess up where Michael Beverly was coming on, and I didn't know who Michael Beverly was, and we had scheduled things a month and a half out in advance. So it wasn't until the few days leading up to it that I was like, who's Michael Beverly? Because my co-host had invited him, and I want to know who I'm talking to and stuff. So went and found that channel and was just happy as could be about it. And you were on there, and I laughed my ass off at a couple things you had said. And I was like, more of this, please. I love the comedy take on things. I love, the various, perspectives that we get. But I have a special place in my heart for people who remind me of like George Carlin and things like that.
And you just may see me making a cameo in one of Zach's awesome videos as well.
Yeah, but Dave has he has the best hearing. I'm all the way over here in England, and I said Bigfoot a couple times, and this motherfucker, halfway across the fucking world, can fucking hear it. He can just hear Bigfoot.
You think I'm just playing with the Grassman Chronicles? I mean, and speaking of my channel, I opened up a new emoji today, so I made this one for Mike. You can see it on the avatar there. I put answers in atheism on toast. And Joe and some of the other folks, you're next in the queue, but I got to give it out to Mike. Mike's one of my oldest friends on YouTube, and we've done a lot of stuff together. And Mike's helped me a lot, and lots of support, and we talk to each other all the time. In fact, he called me this morning, and so I had to make sure Mike got an emoji. But as the other ones open up, Joe, you're in the queue, and there's a couple other folks. You're going to be immortalized with emojis too. So just a matter of unlocking a few more emojis. So. And there's Mike. Speaking of, there's Mike in the chat. Hello, Mike.
Just as correct, Dave is Bigfoot. That's why he's so obsessed with him. He's like Thingy in the Office, going after the Scranton Strangler, because he in fact is the Scranton Strangler, and he is in fact he's obsessed with people knowing, but he has to hunt it for himself because I don't know. I didn't know where I was going with that.
Oh, and thanks to all you great folks out there. I've got ears and eyes on the ground, so and everybody's got their phone ready, so it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if we found like God and Bigfoot out in the woods, like playing chess or something?
Well, I will cite the great Jane Goodall. If you don't know who Jane Goodall is, she's the lady that lived most of her life with the chimps. And
she chronicled the Great Chimp War.
She said, she said that if any of the cryptids or supernatural, or I don't know exactly how she worded it, but if any of them were to be found to be true, she would want it to be a Bigfoot. So.
Right on. No. I don't know. I can think of more fun ones, but I think Mothman is.
Yeah, but Mothman is a harbinger of doom, though. So when you see Mothman, something bad's gonna happen. When you see Bigfoot, he's just looking for a piece of jerky.
I live in Kentucky. I've come to expect that from the Christians anyway. So they're all harbingers of doom.
Well, it's not the only one. A lot of cryptids do seem to be harbingers of doom. So
I live.
Everything is a harbinger of doom.
I live about 45 minutes from Point Pleasant, West Virginia. So like harbinger of doom. Have you seen West Virginia?
Well, and
You
that's
know, I've
why
lived
Joe.
there for a while. Yeah, so yeah.
That's why I had Joe on to cover the Mothman on the Grassman Chronicles, because Joe's in that area.
And to be fair, West Virginia has kind of the same thing Kentucky has, in that there are beautiful parts of it and scenery, and but I think that's a lot of places, you know, like so.
Is the big blue ox a cryptid?
Yes.
Then I want the big blue ox to be real.
Technically, anything that's believed to be real, but you cannot prove or demonstrate scientifically as a cryptid. So, technically, gods and all those things fall into the cryptid category.
Whoa, God. No. God is, of course, real. I have actual footage of heaven right here. Here is our Lord and Savior, Sir David Attenborough. In fact, in heaven, he provided us the evidence that we needed in which to prove.
Oh, that ain't nothing.
Your lying eyes and brain are telling you that this is in fact.
I was covering Kat Kerr the other day. She's got photographs. So
oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know how to end it on Saturday night. I wanted to talk a little bit about Kat Kerr, and I ended up going about 2 hours. It's just hard to end because she just kept saying things, and I'm like, what? You know, she thinks she's not going to die, right?
Yeah, I've seen that part.
Yeah. When the life insurance people call, they say, "Oh, well, she doesn't need any," and they say, "But everybody needs it." And no, I'm not going to die.
See, there's a guy I used to watch. It's like the opposite of that. The Great Black Dragon. It's the Grand Black Dragon of the Great, and he's just like this old, fat, balding guy, and he's like, "I'm totally gonna die tomorrow, and then I'm gonna come back." It's like God. I mean, I'm putting a bit of an accent on him, but he's like, "No, I'm gonna come back, and I'm this big black dragon, and there's Evan Lefevre, who is the son of, who is God himself." And is going to be your friend forever, Evan Lefevre. Some great shit right there. Some good old shit from back in the day. I don't know. I know too many old back in the day YouTubers that spout weird bullshit, not new ones. I need new people.
Bigfoot with wings gives me a flying monkeys vibe, and now I'm scared. Those things terrified me when I was a kid, boy.
Yeah, that was the point, though.
Yeah, it was. Although Mr. Rogers, bless his heart, had the Wicked Witch. I don't remember her name, but he had her on and showed the kids, look, it's just a costume. It's just makeup. You know, what a great guy. You know what I mean?
She got fucked up in that, didn't she?
I don't know.
I don't know about her. I know they had a problem with the Tin Man paint making people sick.
So there was... She had a stunt double fly on the broom and it blew up and that woman nearly died or some shit. And then the green paint with her fucked her up and I think she got burned by something.
Okay. Yeah, she did have paint too. That's right.
She got like septic or something over that green paint.
Yeah, a lot of people got fucked up on that.
Well, yeah, they were just taking stuff off the hardware store shelf. You know, it wasn't medical grade or anything. It was just paint. Yeah, we need some paint. There you go. Don't matter.
And there were no like safety standards in the movie industry. It was just
it doesn't matter if it's lead based or whatever. Coat them with it. You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened in Farscape as well? Actually, the woman who played what's the plant lady called? She was always she was always painted blue, and then it gave her renal failure and fucked up her kidneys because she was painted blue all the time.
Yeah. That's I didn't hear about that one, but that's wild.
That's why she left in series 3 because she had kidney failure and was going to die. She's like, I can't wear the makeup anymore.
Yeah.
Dang.
Well, even Jim Carrey said he was having like what do you call it? I don't want to say psychotic, but like mental episodes, being all painted up and in that Grinch costume and everything. And then they had the contacts and And he said it was really weird. And you know how he got through it? Smoking cigarettes. Somebody told him, so for that period of time, he was smoking cigarettes because it would do something to calm your nerves or something, or your anxiety or something like that.
Jim Carrey is a very interesting man. But
yeah.
Was it? I always love the fact. My favorite Jim Carrey thing is that his favorite band is Cannibal Corpse.
If he hadn't said anything about not getting your shots, he'd be all right. But that
no, he's gone back on that. It was because he was married to what's her face.
Has he gone back on it?
Well, yeah, it's because he was married to fucking Jenny McCarthy, wasn't he?
Okay.
Yeah.
If he's changed his mind, however, at the time he was saying it, and that was
he definitely
bad,
did.
Very bad.
I was crazy because he went through a spell of being like bearded and insane, and he's like, it was just a thing. Don't worry about it. So
Jim Carrey told
he's
the
an
truth.
actor. Flying fuck.
Yeah, he told what he thought was the truth about a lot of things that nobody asked him to tell. I mean, that's really what I think when I think about his behavior. That being said, though, I think he was honest about it anyway. I don't think his goals were to, harm anyone or anything else. Now, does that make it acceptable or right? Or do I want everybody to behave that way? Absolutely not. But I think that at least he was honest, and I don't feel like you get a lot of that from people in his position.
I'll give it to him for that, but and because it really bothered me because that guy can manipulate his face muscles like nobody else I have ever seen. I mean, he can physically change the way he looks. It's amazing.
It's almost like Jack Nicholson.
I miss his stand-up. He did a stand-up show, and it's so good. And it's a shame he never did more.
Yeah. Jack Nicholson had that ability, like whenever he made a face of it, like just these extreme faces.
Because he was insane. One of his best friends was Hunter S. Thompson.
I tried like hell when I was a kid just to get my ears to wiggle, and I could never do it. And, this guy can just change his whole face, so it's just very humbling.
Hunter S. Thompson.
I could never flare my nostrils either.
Hunter S. Thompson, he's a crazy person, too. Yeah.
Crazy ain't the word.
So I had a fascination with Hunter S. Thompson at some point in my back in the younger days, and
but Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is a very fascinating film.
Yes, that's what drove it, right?
That's an understatement. That it's a fascinating film.
It's one of my favorite movies.
It got me to read it, and then made me read Where the Buffalo Roam and a bunch of his other shit, and I'm like, that man's insane. Yeah. All right. Oh, look at that deer hat he left on, because that's what made me think. Because Jack, he left. Was it Happy Birthday, Jack Nicholson? He played some ridiculously loud music or noise of pigs being. It was pigs being butchered in an abattoir or killed in an abattoir with a deer heart as a birthday present at 4:00 in the morning.
You don't realize
that was a sentence you had to put together.
Yeah.
You don't realize how loud a wagon is being pulled down the asphalt street until you have your headphones on. The kids are out there having a blast, but it's like, man, is that loud? Sure sign of warm weather, though. The kids are out playing on their bikes and all that stuff. So good sign. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's warm here today too.
And they go in early, and then I go out, in the evening and enjoy the quiet time by the pond. So it all works out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, look at one of these totally legal gummy bears.
It's one thing about the little ones; they aren't up late. So.
Yeah.
Well, I have to put my child to bed, or he doesn't go to bed.
Yeah, well, one way or another.
That is that's one thing I've blissfully remained unaware, unhindered by. Sorry, I'm drooling. Yeah.
That's one good gummy.
It is. Didn't Hunter S. Thompson interview Nixon in the bathroom while he was taking a piss?
I don't know.
Sure he did.
I mean, that sounds right, but I'm not sure if he did or not. I'll look.
No, yeah, he did. No, he did. It's in where the buffalo roam.
Oh, okay, okay.
The Bill.
I mean,
Murray
I'll take your word for it. If you know,
because there was a 87 late 70s, early 80s film where the buffalo roam, where Bill Murray's Hunter S. Thompson, and his attorney is the fucking granddad from Everybody Loves Raymond.
The Ember's kid can do can move her eyes and ears and everything. The only thing I learned to do was go cross-eyed, and somebody taught me you look at both your fingers and then bring your fingers to your nose, and that's how I learned to do it. So I can do cross-eyed, but moving each independently, that's pretty that's some good muscle control.
The best like that I can do is sometimes I can individually fucking not individually, but I can like just open my pupils open and close without moving my eyes.
It was like I had a friend that did everything. You know what I mean? I had a loud whistler, I had a ear wiggler, I had a nostril flarer, I had and it was like, I can't do any of these things. So one of them's like, hey, I'll teach you how to cross your eyes. So I practiced and practiced it, and I learned how to do it just because I felt left out.
ChatGPT says no. I don't know. I'm sure I've heard Hunter S. Thompson talk like that's real.
Well, yeah. I mean, it that would be one of the less shocking things that he did.
That would be Zach, I believe.
Hunter S. Thompson, again, was one of these people that was, I mean, crazy as hell on a lot of different things. But you knew that's how he actually felt about it. Like, yeah. There wasn't.
That's what I loved about Carlin. Like, cause I've been into Carlin since I was like 10, literally. And even I know I was into Carlin earlier. I just didn't realize what he was because he was on fucking Shining Time Station when I was a kid, man. And he read Thomas the Tank Engine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He did, and then
I watched that show with my kids.
Yeah, I watched it when I was a kid, man. And then my dad had Back in Town on tape. And fucking went, it's that guy from Shining Time Station. I'll listen to that. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Well.
my older boy had to watch Thomas Trains. Yeah. I was picking him up from the sitter one day and we were running a little late. And he's like, Dad, it's time for Thomas Trains. It broke my heart, that we were running late. He knew what time it was, and he wasn't going to make it home in time. It was such a sad state of affairs that day.
Yeah.
And he had all the stuff too. He had the track set and all the trains and all that. He used to be all over the living room.
Neat.
Bill Hicks. I wish he'd lived longer. I don't know. Bill Hicks was too much of a conspiracy theorist. He was funny, but he was also a really big conspiracy theorist. He believed every conspiracy under the sun. Well, not everyone, but
Yeah, he talked a lot of crazy shit towards the latter part of his career.
Yeah, he fucking did.
It changed a little bit. Like
Zach
is
praising Attenborough there, Crystal.
Yeah, well, no. Crystal knows of. Crystal is a devoted follower of Attenborough. She praises upon our Lord and Savior as every sane and rational person would do, based upon the natural world that he presents before us.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Dave Chappelle?
Oh,
Never thought he was funny.
Oh, but no, Dave Chappelle's funny. He used to be funny.
Yeah.
You know?
So the Chappelle Show for years was something that I kept stored on my hard drive and watched. Had watched many times.
Some of the Chappelle Show is some of the funniest shit.
Yeah.
The N-word family sketch is one of my favorite fucking things ever.
When they did the Prince sketch, when they were playing basketball and stuff, that's probably the only time I thought it was amusing. The rest of the time, I don't know. He's just so loud and obnoxious, and I don't know. I think it's
different.
A little bit of annoying. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just and I wanted your completely subjective opinion, so
well, that's it's comedy. Not everybody thinks everybody's funny.
Right. Very true.
Yeah,
very true.
No doubt.
Except for George Carlin. If you don't find George Carlin funny, I don't trust it.
I've watched every episode of the Chappelle Show many times, and
it's mental looking back on it and going, "Oh shit, that's Bill Burr."
Yeah. And I mean, I think it was just one of the, just game-changing bits of comedy that occurred. Like it's part of history. It was, whatever. Like
In Living Color.
In Living Color was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah. Fucking Jim Carrey was great on that.
Oh yeah. and the Wayans all blew up big after. I mean, they were already, doing their own show and everything, but blew up into a bunch of movies and everything. And
I fucking love Damon Wayans. He's so underratedly funny. It's not on.
Sure. I don't think people really understand how much comedy of the last 30 years have been influenced or completely controlled by the Wayans.
I was never. I liked Robin Williams when he did like Mork and Ork and stuff and that, but I thought he was just obnoxiously wired on cocaine and not really that funny. So.
With Robin Williams, it's some of his films.
He's talented. I'm not going to say he's not talented. I just wouldn't put him on my top comedian list.
I wouldn't put him on my top comedian list, but I wouldn't say he wasn't funny though.
No.
Yeah. Morton Indy was great. Fucking was it Good Morning Vietnam was fantastic.
All right. So top 3. Chat, you can do this too, and I'll show some of your answers. Top 3 comedians of all time.
Well, no, wait. We just talking funny people, or are we talking stand-ups here?
Your favorite stand-up comedian, or no, just your favorite comedians. It can be actors, stand-up, whatever.
Now, are we going to count? Can we count duos as one?
Sure.
Cool.
Richard Pryor, George Carlin, and split between the third would be between Bill Burr and Geraldo.
Geraldo, fucking off. 3 is hard.
It is, isn't
it? Carlin, Christopher Morris, and Jon Stewart.
Oh, that last one made me rethink because Jon Stewart might be in mine.
and if none of y'all have ever heard of Christopher Morris, go educate yourself by watching Brass Eye, my friends. It's a TV show. It's only 7 episodes. And it's making fun of what Z-list celebrities will say and the media. And all of Christopher Morris's stuff is absolutely golden. He's a British comic that almost no one will have heard of, and it's a shame. The man's the best.
Right. Eddie Murphy was very funny for a short period of time, and then he kind of burned himself out. But
motherfucker came back and did Beverly Hills Cop 4, and it's fucking amazing. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop 4 is good shit. That film has been being made since 2012, and is legitimately great. It's
I think I've seen about every one of his movies, and I'm an Eddie Murphy fan. But again, he's like,
See,
for one
He
of the
got
tops,
popular and he did some shash.
Richard Pryor blows him away.
I'll
I'm
give
sorry.
you.
Well, because Eddie Murphy is an imitation of Richard Pryor,
That's true. That's
I'll
true.
give you my top.
but a
three.
very good one, a very good one.
I'll give you my top three because it adds another person to the picture here. So I would say Richard Pryor, George Carlin, and Will Ferrell would be my top three.
I'll be
I think Will
50.
Ferrell's
I'll
funny.
be 59 this.
Before.
I'll be 59 this summer, Farm.
Yeah, I nearly had
Little bit older than you.
I think Step Brothers was one of the funniest movies ever.
Yeah, but see, I think Will Ferrell's only good as a side character.
I do too, but he's still that good.
Yeah, I think Step Brothers is one of the best, worst movies. It's like,
fuck off. That's just a great film. That's not.
I love it. I love it, but I think it's awful at the same time.
No, that film's great in every way. I love all of the films they've made together. Him and fucking, what's the other guy's name? I always fucking forget it.
They make a good pair. Yeah, they're
Just like that Talladega Nights was amazing.
Yeah,
fucking that show. Nobody liked it, but I really liked that Sherlock Holmes films they did.
I like that. I like that one. I like that one better than the Talladega thing. That one got on my damn nerves. But
I think they're funny for different reasons, though.
John C. Reilly, that's his name.
John C. Reilly's amazing too. Have you watched any of the show The Righteous Gemstones?
Oh, I fucking love The Righteous Gemstones.
I've got it wrote down right here.
Man. Dude,
I haven't seen it
a
yet.
couple months. It's almost finished. They're doing the last season's coming out soon. So just wait. It's so fucking good.
They're down to the last couple episodes of it. There's three or four seasons before.
This is the fourth season.
This is the fourth, yeah. So there's 3 seasons before it. But yeah, it came on HBO. It's funny as shit.
Yeah,
it gives a good view of.
It's so many different fucking evangelists.
Yeah, and it reminds me of how people are in the South anyway. Like so.
Yeah.
And of course,
it's more Midwest. No, it's more Midwest though, and it's more like fucking Iowa, Nebraska area, isn't it?
Well, he's supposed to be in South Carolina.
Is it? No, right. I thought it was more Midwest. I'm being dumb. Fair enough.
Mike said a new episode just came out like last night or something.
I'm waiting for it to be done. I watched seasons in one go.
I've watched it. I recently watched all of it, and now have been watching it episode by episode for the last season.
It's so good.
Yeah.
John Goodman's amazing in it, but he's amazing in literally everything.
He's one of my favorite actors.
Fucking. That Adam Devine's in it, and I never like him in literally anything, and he's fucking great in that show. And that is his mate, who's basically Tiger King, and his fucking guy rolled into one. Everyone's great in that show.
So while we're talking favorites, let's drive it back on subject a little bit. And who is your top 2 favorite YouTube atheist channels? Doesn't have to be atheist, can be whatever, like adjacent, like if you need to be
Apologia and Aaron Ra. Because those were my big influences. So
should we expand it to like your
Logic?
Yeah, but Logic is up there. Yeah.
I've been watching Logic since
Dark Matter. Dark Matter.
One of mine. Yeah.
See,
for information, it's got to be Potholer. Potholer for information. If you want some good info, Potholer is one of the best YouTubers out there. See, I would call it more a skeptic though than an atheist.
A bunch of the atheists I used to watch turned into knobheads because I used to really like fucking Armin Skeptic. I used to like Amazing Atheist. Fucking
yeah. What happened to Armored Skeptic?
So Armin Skeptic originally, before he did YouTube, was a conspiracy nut to begin with.
Okay.
And then he came out of it, and that's why he became a skeptic. And then he kind of fell into the alt-right thing. Not like super racisty, but like the conspiracy side of it. And then fell back into his conspiracy shit, and I never really watched it again after that.
Yeah, because I used to watch Armored Skeptic.
Yeah.
Since I like, aside from like watching people on streams and interacting with people, I don't watch atheist stuff on YouTube anymore. Because since I started making it, I kind of stopped watching it.
Yeah. Me neither. Not
Regularly, I watch Logic, Sursic, Apologia.
There's more people I should watch, but
yeah, there's got to be more. But
because I'm too busy listening to fucking lectures and shit. It's one of the reasons I go on Audible, because it's got like all this fucking great courses stuff, and I just listen to that stuff, don't I? You know what I mean?
The one Logic just put out like yesterday or something, I was laughing my ass off. So yeah, if you want a good laugh, that was a good one.
I try to at least show up at my friends' channels for a few minutes and say hi to the chat, and like I try to do that just to help people get views. And
I make the rounds. Yeah,
and who knows when there's a opportune dumpster fire going on that you can jump
I try
into.
but fucking everybody's on a different time for me, and I'm never looking at shit at the right times.
Right.
I say Paula G and Aaron Raw because when I started my channel, I was like, do I go hardball like Aaron, or do I go a little more softball like Paula G? You know, and I went to Paula G, but I was.
You think Paula G goes softball?
Paula G? Oh
yeah, he goes softball. Well, because he talks nice to people.
Aaron Raw is my favorite,
so to speak. Yeah, you know, I mean, I piss off people, and I try to be nice and civil, and they still get bent with me. So I mean, you know, it's hard to say anything, but I think Paul, well, he has talked to a bunch of people. You know, he's talked to a bunch of Christians and stuff.
But Paul G really talks down to people because he knows better, and like he does it with a nice voice. I think Paul G is actually really, really nasty in a really clever way, and I like it.
I think you're right about that. Apologia is one of my favorite. So Dark Matter is my favorite because I like the comedy part of it. Like I said earlier, I love the laugh when it comes to this stuff. And Apologia is definitely up there on my favorites. But and as for Aaron Raw is probably my favorite atheist activist. His channel isn't always the most interesting, but the most useful, maybe. But I like the comedy stuff better. So Dark Matter and
I used to like Cite an Atheist, and then he turned into a weirdo as well. Like all my favorite atheist YouTubers turned into weirdos, so I went away from YouTube for a bit. It was Paul G that brought me back into it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've been watching Alex O'Connor since like he first started too. He's come a long way.
Yeah.
He's very smart too.
I used to like to just watch a lot of the old debates, and then like I got into watching. I didn't know like any of the atheist YouTube channels or anything until after I got exposed to the whole flat Earth thing and the Non Sequitur show and Red's Rhetoric and stuff like that. And then like through the Non Sequitur show, I would see these debates between other channels on YouTube, you know, and that's how I kind of discovered a lot of those people.
The late great Bill Ludlow had an awesome channel too.
Yeah,
they were my favorite. They were my favorite fucking YouTube atheists. Bible Reloaded.
Yeah.
Man, I miss the Bible Reloaded. Yeah. They collapsed spectacularly, but they were fucking amazing back in the day. Anybody remember? Do either of you two know about Bible Reloaded?
No.
There's two guys that just read through the Bible, just making horrific jokes, and then realized they should stop making horrific jokes, and they just started making from the Bible more. But like they got through a lot of it. I miss them. They were great. Jake still does stuff, and Hannah does, but they don't like each other anymore.
I tried to read through the Bible with a fundamentalist.
Do it with me, Joe. I want to do it.
We made it through one episode.
You can do it with me. I want to do it. I've
And
got
after that episode, he blocked me and won't speak to me. We had done a number of shows together and debates and things, and he after the first, we talked about the first half of the Book of John, and by the end of that, we were no longer friends.
Now, new on the scene, I would have to give a nod to Grayson. Grayson is
Grayson's awesome.
He's good at a lot of stuff. He can debate, he can argue, he makes good videos. He does it good off the cuff when he's live. He does.
Yeah, Grayson's not just smart. He's very good at making.
Yeah.
Someone I do want to give a shout out to, because I didn't want to say any of the people I interact with, because I felt that was maybe a bit too ball washy.
Oh,
but
no.
B.S. Lewis, though. B.S. Lewis makes some.
B.S. Lewis is one of my current favorites. Yeah.
I love not just because he's one of the first people that shouted me out ever. He makes some fucking top-notch cartoons and fucking like Dark Matter. Just animators are underloved.
I think I have a lot of top favorites though right now. I'm not going to name names on that though because I don't want to. I would leave somebody out, and I don't want to do that.
Well, this whole time you've been talking, I've been scrolling through my subscribers list. I'm only to the J's, so I love a lots of channels. So and it's not just that. I don't just have that kind of content. I've got all kind of stuff. So.
Well, I have because.
King Crocoduck. King Crocoduck's got to get a nod.
Man, that's a name I've not heard in a very long time.
Yeah, he's got to get a nod.
Yeah, fucking Crocoduck, man.
My friends.
I also like debunking channels more than I like atheist channels, though, because you ever heard of Jeff Holiday?
I thought about debunking random shit just for fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Just and like making that the point of it, right? Like being like, I'm gonna debunk something different. We're not gonna talk about cryptids today.
Mr. Deity makes great content. He was just on.
You don't like Alex
with somebody
vegan content?
I don't. Yeah, want to be vegan, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you don't.
The only vegans I don't like are the ones that don't like lab-grown meat.
Yeah. Aaron Raw is one of my favorite people ever, and I don't agree with everything he said and done.
I don't like snakes either.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, like...
Keep your snakes over there. You can love them all you want, but Dave doesn't like them. Sorry.
I think Matt Dillahunty is incredibly intelligent and a great debater, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't always care for his approach, Yeah.
But
that's okay, and he's okay with that, and I'm okay with that, and it's not a big deal. You don't have to agree with people. That's the thing here. There is no included doctrine.
Yes, there is. David Attenborough is our Lord and Savior, and that is doctrine, and that is the truest word.
I thought I would just precept that, and
yeah, but I have proof, so
you don't need it.
Let's see. I'm up to the P's. Professor Dave and Prophet of Zod. Those are both a couple good ones.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of folks have good videos, though.
Once you get involved in this, there's so many things that you're watching all the time. And
I like listening to Rationality Rules. He's got
Rationality Rules, amazing, yeah.
Red's Rhetoric.
That's a good one. Weird things about us living in a simulation, and I was like, I'm not having this.
I would have Red on, but I'm afraid he would make fun of me for kissing his ass. So
he did such a good job with Jim Bob. I was cracking up.
Yeah, he lays it on him, don't he?
Well, he's like, well, I don't know if I can believe in the space station and Red's Rhetoric. Yeah, I forget his name, but he said one of my friends actually took photographs of it from his telescope when they were building it, and he's showing him photographs, and he goes, well, I guess I'd have to see the photographs. You are seeing the photographs.
They did more than take photographs. Included with those photographs is the data of where they very precisely triangulated its trajectory and speed and distance and all that. Definitive proof there. I mean, like, I don't know how you could ask for more than that.
Yeah, he was talking to the boob about the moon landing denial and denies the space station and everything else, and it was he just, you know, he didn't have to change his tone or anything. He's just like, I got photographs of it. You want to see them? It was just great.
John Lovell loves the trailer. I like the Trailer Park Boys. Trailer Park Boys is probably my favorite show ever. That type of show, I guess, not in all things, but yeah.
Oh, when I needed some dumb humor, I'd watch Johnny Knoxville and the Wild Boys, and
yeah.
There was another show too. I can't remember the name of it.
Well, Canada at the time those shows came out, Canada had the Showcase Network, which was kind of showing, they wanted to show edgy stuff, and so they had started playing Trailer Park Boys on there, and they also played Kenny versus Spinny, which
fucking
is
Kenny versus Spinny, man.
Yeah, Kenny versus Spinny is fucking hilarious.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Do you know Kenny actually wrote on South Park for 3 years?
Oh yeah, I know. Believe me, you want to go over who knows what about Kenny versus Spinny. Let's talk about Kenny versus Spinny for a minute, because I think there's a very deep thing about Kenny versus Spinny that's really important. Kenny versus
Chinese medicine means that you win all contests.
Yeah. Kenny versus Spinny is set up in a way that they try to portray good versus evil. And what you find out, though, is that the good person is actually the evil one, the bad person, like the most devious, strange individual. Like, you know, Kenny always breaks the rules and I mean, just flat out cheats to win.
Yeah.
But he wins, and he gets to humiliate the other guy, which is, you know, there's, Kenny himself has said that he thinks that that's where they got the idea for, stuff like that in other videos where, like, you have to do some kind of final challenge or whatever because of, losing a competition. But, the funny thing about it is, though, is like Spinny plays by the rules, but is really the asshole. Spinny is of the two. Spinny is the bad guy, and it just makes for hilarious comedy because Kenny Hotz is funny as shit. So
and
check out Kenny versus Spinny.
Jer's mentioning Bree at Hiveside. We got to give Bree a shout too. Bree has a great show and a great channel too. Bree is very learned on a lot of things, and she likes Bigfoot. I mean, what more could you ask for? Bree's on the list to get an emoji too. She's a great friend of the channel.
We were saying about Trailer Park Boys and shit. I love Trailer Park Boys, but I kind of prefer Letterkenny.
I like the comedy of Letterkenny better
because it's all puns and like long.
Yeah, it's witty, you know.
Yeah. Plus, it's got people from Todd and the Book of Pure Evil in it, so it's better.
Yeah.
There's a show. There's multiple people from both of them in it, isn't there? Was it? I've not watched it yet. It's called The Trades. It's got thingy from Letterkenny, the
Eastbound and Down
guy, and then Tom Green's in it, and fucking the dumb criminal guy from Trailer Park Boys. I've forgotten all the names. Yeah, Ricky. Ricky's in it as well.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm not an early riser, but Bree is one of the people that I'm up early to see.
Yeah. There's a link to our channel here in the chat too. So I don't have everybody's on. I need to just add them as I think about it, so that you can always just bring up that person's name and it'll give you a link for their channel. I'll start working on adding all those. That way, we always have everybody's channel here, so you can get a link for it.
I've only missed a couple of her shows ever since I started watching. So
Yeah,
I'm usually one of the first ones there Saturday morning.
Dave, you are a tremendous supporter of other channels in this community. You're always everywhere talking in chat and always down to go on a panel and talk with people about, you know, all kinds of stuff. Plus, you have open panels on your channel. I mean, you.
I like to give everybody shout outs where I can. If I see somebody in the chat, you know, like, well, I like just there's trees, you know, I'll say, look at the trees. Make sure you go check out Trees channel. You know, it's part of the thing, you know.
Well, you've went out of your way to promote my channel, and I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
I say you've given me a bunch of shout outs and
well, that's the idea.
Advertised my stuff and everything. So yeah, we help each other out.
Whenever I came across Zach's channel, I was like trying to show it to everybody immediately. Like, go watch this. You're missing out if you.
Yeah, I think it was the first one I went on.
And Look at the Trees, speaking of, Look at the Trees numerous times has found new channels and stuff and posted, say, hey, go check out this channel. Trees is real good about that too.
Yeah, I love finding channels and getting to share them, even if it's just a community post or whatever, like finding cool channels and getting to share them with everybody, because I think there's a lot of great small channels out there.
You miss doing live streams, Mike. Why don't you join this one then?
I'll post the link in the chat real quick if you want it, Mike. I'll take it.
Go on. You missed streaming. Why don't you join this one? Stop lurking.
I'm not even going to wait on you to answer. I'm just going to put it in there. So,
to be honest, like I've seen some of Tree's comedy stuff, and I want to do. Dude, I've got ideas. I love some of
the Pastor Blaster video.
Yeah. So
I showed that on another channel recently.
Trees
interviewed me, and
Trees pulls no punches. No punches.
The problem is I've got loads of ideas, and so many of them involve Joe, and I feel guilty trying to pressure him to do any of them because he's so busy doing things.
Hey, I love getting to do stuff with everybody else. That's if I knew that people would if I could be like Secular Rarity and people just invite me on their channels, I wouldn't have a need for a channel. I would be happy to do that. I love just going and interacting with everybody and getting to talk about stuff. So
talk to everything.
Yeah.
And I like when people reach out, like Zach said, hey, can you make this video clip for me? And I'm like, heck yeah,
Yeah.
Joe and Deconverted, man, all these ones, can you make a clip? And it's like, heck yeah, I'll make you a clip.
That video that I did, which both of you contributed to, of the top 10 stupid creationist claims, that was one of the funnest videos I've made. I mean,
and singing the Christmas carols, Zach, that was much fun.
That was great shit.
And speaking, we got another voice from the Christmas carols. There's Michael. Hi, Michael.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
What's up, Michael Beverly?
I can't wait for Christmas again. I enjoyed doing them carols.
That was a lot of fun.
I didn't give you the full game show host intro, Michael Beverly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Michael Beverly.
You just need to slow down just a little bit, Zach.
Michael Beverly and his baby are joining us now.
Oh, he's a baby.
Well, this is why I don't live stream very much.
Oh yeah, well,
it's just you never know when something's going to happen. I do a lot of recording. I mean, he's in tons of recordings.
Well, I'm very limited to when I can live stream because of children and such.
Yeah.
Life moving
Hi,
on
PC.
around me.
Hey, buddy, say hi to everybody.
Hi, baby.
Hello.
Word up, little human.
Get rid of
Hello,
that.
hello.
You can't say that. You can't say things like cow now, Brie. You have to say cow. Sorry, I'm the only one that's read Discworld. You should all read Discworld.
So, hey, can I announce something, Joe?
Of course.
Yeah. So I have been busy, even though I've been live streaming. So in a couple days, I'm going to have a 2-hour video that's just clips from 9 recordings I did with 9 creators, and the working title is Apologetics and Racism. So it's all with Black atheists, either non-believers, skeptics, or mostly atheists, I think. So the usual crowd: Jay, Mandisa, Barr, Jenna, who I think you had on your show the other day.
Yeah.
Cynthia McDonald.
Right.
Stan. I'm going to forget somebody now. I'm going to feel bad.
I love
sorry.
Bar. I love Bar.
Bar is a good fun.
The last stream I saw with Bar, he was rapping to himself to try and close out the stream. He fell asleep rapping.
He just fell asleep in the stream. Yeah. Well, anyways, I'm super proud of that project because we're responding to some stuff, and it's a lot of work to try to coordinate with 9 people, but it was fun, and I hope it comes out cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Man.
It's awesome.
Me and Mr. Beverly have been working very hard at getting a very popular apologist on his channel, haven't we, Mr. Beverly?
Yes. We couldn't get the actual guy to show up, so we're gonna fake it. That's gonna be fun.
Damn it, you son of a bitch! I've been selling it the whole time that we're getting the real one.
Oh, we're getting the real one. Nobody will believe. No Christians will come on my show anymore.
I understand.
Oh man. Oh, but you want to hear the greatest? If you guys want a little bit of gossip, this is really good fun. So I released a video about free will, responding to Braxton Hunter, which the co-host. If you guys like babies laughing, go watch at least the clip of him having a complete laughing fit. It'll make your day. So
second, sir, I think you find it's pronounced Braxton Hunter.
Oh yeah. Okay. So somebody comments on my video that he was a friend of Braxton. Like he goes, I knew him pretty well. He was the president at the school I was going to, and I was in these private groups. I was in his top tier Patreon, and he's a complete charlatan and a fake. And he was really mean to me when I deconverted. I really, he says all this stuff. So I screenshotted it and I sent it to Braxton, and I basically want to say, look, Braxton, like this is what people say. Like, I've been trying to get Braxton to engage with me, but he won't. Although he hasn't blocked me on his channel yet. And he returns my email. So he emails me back a little while later and he says, hey, thanks for posting that. I called the guy up and I had a great conversation with him. So I went straight to my channel and sure enough, the comment was deleted. But luckily I screenshotted it.
You know why he doesn't talk to you, right?
Well, he probably because he has bad arguments. No, why? Tell me.
He said it in a fucking side chat of you were debating someone and he was in the chat and he went, I can't deal, like he's tried to talk to me. I can't deal with him or some shit. He's just not ready for it. So whatever.
Oh,
I pointed it out in one of my videos.
Yeah. He accused me of not being smart enough to talk to about free will and philosophy because I don't have the Oxford dictionary or the Oxford philosophy catalog memorized.
Because he knows our argument better than we do.
Yeah. Well, in my video, I basically said, look, there's a reason I avoid all these big words to begin with, because you mostly use them to either deceive people or act like you're smart. Can't we just talk with? Let's talk about free will without any big philosophy words. Here's a frickin' baby. Tell me when he's making how old is he going to be when he makes his first decision? Because right now he has no free will that I can see. Well, I don't know, dude. I mean, you want to argue?
You have it backwards. You have no free will because you have baby.
Yes. Oh God. Yes. We got a comedian in here, and you're 100% right. I've.
I don't know.
And no sleep. And no sleep.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. You guys know the deal.
I remember the days when they first came home and you're sitting up all night making sure they're breathing and everything. You don't sleep. You just don't sleep.
That's how I ended up going to school and getting a degree in computer science, was because I didn't even have a computer in my house growing up or anything. But when my first son was born, I was afraid he was going to stop breathing because he had some breathing problems. And so I stayed up all night for like weeks and messed with this old broken computer I had in the back room until I fixed it. And then was like, oh, well, I'll go to school for computer science technology. And that's like how all that happened. So, I can feel you on that one.
And that's those few moments in between of feeding time, diaper time, bath time. Oh, you just took a bath and then you diaper timed and it's all over the place. Back in the bathtub.
Although now I want to get this introduction, just because so much was made out of this introduction. I want to get it right. So here we go. Coming to you live now from the Kentucky Atheists channel, Michael Beverly's baby.
Here we go.
Yeah.
He's ready. He's ready to go live. What do you have to say, buddy? Come on. Talk.
Very astute stuff.
You have the mic. You have the mic. You have the whole world listening. Say something.
Why is the scary clown on the screen? Why? Make it go away.
Somebody call CPS, please. Help. Get me out of here, Daddy. You're gonna go back to sleep.
Big yawn.
Yeah, we're boring you, buddy. I'm sorry.
For everyone, that's why Christians win.
That's Michael Beverly now owns the most adorable moment on the Kentucky Atheist.
Wow.
Well, not really me. I'll give him the credit. I'm just the background, like I'm the prop holding him up.
I announced Michael Beverly's baby because the moment the baby showed up, you were not important.
You have to make a YouTube account, Michael Beverly's baby, where you
he just holds him there, and then
tell
everybody
everybody
worships him like an idol.
Jesus, God, Moses,
baby Jesus,
and Noah can all show up.
Whoa, wait.
In the center, and everybody will go, "It's a baby!"
And the baby will have 1 million views, and meanwhile you put in 2 weeks of time into a video, and it gets a couple hundred or a couple thousand.
How have you not done anything where you are God and that is the baby Jesus?
I could make an Ark Encounter protest ad, and we can have your baby be in it, but then we could do a voiceover of God wanted to flood the world and kill all the babies.
I was thinking of doing a stream where we do like a sacrifice or we offer to Baal. We could really try.
Yeah.
Oh Baal, we offer you this baby.
Kalimar.
Come on. Hey, somebody have matches in the back? And some lighter fluid.
We was on about doing fucking satanic rituals to make songs popular, because that's what that woman says. There you go, right there. You sacrifice the baby to make the music good, because you do the witchcraft to make your music good.
So let me show you something. Whenever I went to Kent Hovind's channel on the debate thing the other night, I had this background up, and his chat freaked out. Like, people are in the comments talking about, how did you let this person with all their demonic symbols and this and that, and like and there was a couple people that thought that was a real place that I was at, and that was my house behind me. They thought, and
Man,
Joe asked me. He said, "What do you think of this picture?" I said, "It looks like AI." He goes, "Thanks." These other people don't have a clue.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the most depressing Carlin joke ever. Right? Everybody makes the joke that the average man is stupid, but the average man means the middle.
Right?
So,
yeah.
so the
half of them
population is dumb, is stupider than that.
I've got that clip.
Shit.
That means that most people are dumber than him.
Yeah.
I've got the one that says
fucked.
It where he says now he sounds intelligent. He's full of shit. I've used that in I think more than one video clip.
Oh yeah.
That's
more than one video, I mean.
That's important to identify because it's
that
sorry.
Sheldon has a point. Michael, you would absolutely make a great Moses.
Well,
we've seen that.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Beverly is in fact portrayed not Moses, but Noah, and was the most excellent Noah, dancing on the ark in my parody song for.
I had a bigger beard back then.
You did.
Yeah, I keep wanting to grow it back. I see old videos of mine and I miss it, but Jessica just told me that I look way too old, so to keep it trim. Oh well.
But you were
real.
And he danced.
Yeah, you.
And Bexington's slides drowning demise. So that was fun.
You are about a dead ringer for the 10 Commandments, really. You are. I'm looking at the ad right now, and yeah,
we could spray paint some ads on Mr. Beverly.
You got the look.
Give him the 10 Commandments tablets and recreate the Charlton Heston 10 Commandments video cover. That would be great.
We should get a bunch of people and act out the Bible in its entirety.
Dude. Well, Jesus.
one go.
Yeah, we get kicked off of YouTube, Zach. We'd all be banned.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Whoa, it's the inspired word of God. You're saying we can't act out the inspired word of God?
No. Not on YouTube, you can't.
Hey, it only says that she's beautiful like a goat once.
Okay? I think most of the content in the Old Testament would be actually illegal in the United States.
That's what I've said. Every time they say we need more biblical movies and stuff, and I said, do you realize most of them would be rated X, not R? They would be rated X. No, no, only adults.
The only chopped up a woman in 12 bits twice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They would be like snuff films and stuff.
I've seen the movie.
Yeah. Good old objective morality at it again,
Hey, God knew from the start that this was the way we were always going to live. So we need to abide by these rules because they were set before us very long ago. And because they're old, well, that doesn't make them less false. It makes them more true because they're old.
I get the objective.
False.
I get the objective morality argument. I just think it's mind blowing that they make it. Like, it always like just leaves me lost because I'm like, why would you say such a stupid thing? Like, why? That's the worst position you could try to attack.
Are you kidding me? Why say something stupid, Joe? Joe, it's a moneymaker these days. It's a moneymaker.
Well,
I think there's utility in asking that question as well. Like,
can I make a case for objective morality?
Go for it.
I think there is objective morality, and it's like
I do too.
Because we're like social creatures, and social creatures always make up different rules than other creatures do when it comes to social interactions. And because of that, we feel like there's some kind of driving thing when really we're just social creatures.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of objective moral things that are required for us to be that social species. Like, even if you get to like self-preservation, which extends to the group, but the and I think it all kind of blooms off of that it's just gets more refined into what is more socially acceptable, right? So,
well, Joe, I got a question for you. Now, you just recently talked to the Hawaiian shirt guy. Now, and then you said something about saying stupid stuff. Hawaiian shirt guy says a lot of stupid stuff, and he's technically a millionaire. All right, he pulls in like 6 figures a year. Okay,
yeah, he's
now how do you feel about that?
About him being a millionaire?
Dude.
Just from the perspective of being on the other side and thinking, this guy's a complete idiot. He's fleecing people. His Dino Park with the cardboard signs is the tackiest thing in the world. And he's pulling in 6 figures. And here I am, right? Any of us, right?
Yeah.
Whether you got a day job, if you're a YouTuber, whatever your thing is, right? And you're busting your hump, and you got this clown over here making 6 figures a year.
So the echo chamber is deep, and the further away from the deepest part of the echo chamber is like the conspiracy theories and stuff that make it back through. People who actually look at, I don't know, silly things like facts and stuff, but you have there's like a gradient, I think. So,
well, it used to be there was an incentive not to be stupid, right? Because the stupid didn't seem to be all that big and successful,
I think
right?
there's always been an incentive to be stupid.
Yeah, there is.
Well, it seems like there's a lot more now because you can get rich and famous and get elected into office by being as much of an idiot as you can possibly be, and then think up new ways to top it.
Technology gives you an audience to be stupid for. People have always loved this.
People have always been this dumb. People have always been this dumb.
Yeah.
Yes, go look at comedy.
We're just interconnected with the internet now.
Yeah.
That's true. So
they've known
one crazy guy in your town, you can listen to 5 billion from everywhere, and it's easy.
But at least, but I guess maybe you didn't hear from them. Well, let's put it that way. You didn't hear from them. They kept it to themselves, right? They might have mumbled in the back room about Noah's Ark, but they weren't out talking about it. Well, now it's
they were passing out chick tracks. They were passing out trick tracks. They were using the media available to them the best they could.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Joe.
Ben Hovind was doing this shit back in the 80s.
Hey, Zach, let me interrupt you. I got to go, guys. The mama's home and the dogs are going crazy. The baby's squirmy. I think he's hungry. I appreciate you letting me play for a while. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you all guys soon. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Oh, and Michael, too. Sorry.
But that's one of the things about Mr. Hovind. He was he's been doing it for decades. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons he makes all the money. Some of these people doing it now, they don't make that money.
That's where Ray makes his so-called day job money, is selling those Bible tracts.
Well, I mean, I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
But he has the easiest way to make money. He just goes and stands on the same street corner and waits for people to come to him.
Yes. Yeah.
No, not actually. Not actually. He's got a.
That's the problem.
He has a crew that goes out and scouts these people beforehand. It's all set up, but yeah.
Well, yeah,
I get you though.
Yeah, but also like he's known to stand in a place. He's known to do things, and people go. That's why people like him, Steven Crowder used to do it. That's why these people were younger college students. So they go, I'm going to own these people that don't know anything.
Joe, weren't you the one talking about him holding the food cards over people to do the videos?
No, I don't.
Somebody was doing that. He'd get the food cards right from the restaurants or whatever, and he would find the people that maybe a little down on their luck. And he would wave the food card. He would say, "Hey, if you do a video with me, you get a food card." That's Ray Comfort. Yeah.
You know what, actually, speaking of Ray, so before I was saying like the Bible Reloaded were a really good atheist channel back in the day, they actually nearly sued Ray Comfort.
Yeah,
because Ray Comfort kept on claiming DMCA's against him for like talking about his movies, and then they did one, didn't show any of the film, anything like that, just talked about it. He still did it, and the fucking guy started sending him fruit baskets and all sorts. Don't sue me, but also don't talk about me. But please don't sue me.
yeah.
He's a slimer.
Yeah, there's a lot of different people with different, although similar goals. I think that their goals aren't always, surface level things.
And Banana Man had origins with the faith healing crap too. So
yeah,
he's that kind of slime. So yeah, through and through, he's
I think that's why you get a lot more of the true believers today, because fucking these people were grifters, and there's a lot more people getting popular, like an inspiring philosophy or whatever. Because look, they got brought up on a Ray Comfort or a fucking Kent Hovind or whatever, or a person of that sort. You know what I mean? And they went, I'm going to go a step deeper with it, and I'm on YouTube. And YouTube's alternate media, right? And you can't trust the media because they say bad things about what I think.
Ray also fancies himself a bit of an exorcist too, and that's preying on people that have mental health issues. So he's preying on physical health, mental health, and then he's fleecing people, and then he's bothering you when you're trying to spend a day at the beach. All these things is just like, and Todd Friel, he's another one, always bothering people at the beach and stuff.
Well, the Kinchliff.
Oh, there's this. Nicholas dude,
Cliff and Stewart too,
yeah. Oh man, I did a video not long ago about them like talking about sex, and they start feeling themselves up at weird points, don't they? And it's a really weird conversation. Very strange.
The Skeptic did a video here the other day about this guy that's from Kentucky, Nicholas Bowling, something. His name's Nicholas, and it's down in the corner. Anyway, the Skeptic looked at his video, and he's one of those that goes. He went to college campuses at all the Pride rallies and parades and stuff, and bugged people and had a loudspeaker saying awful things. The whole street preacher asshole thing. And but yeah, I'm getting to where I think I'm gonna have to cover that asshole. So. I've brought him up before, actually, but
it's one thing. I need a camera, not like a webcam, so I can. Yeah. I love going out and like fucking with street preachers, man. I really need to film me fucking with street preachers. Oh, it's so good because I follow these fuckers around and like because they like it's the only thing is I lie a little bit. You
ever been to London?
Yeah.
Where they have the speaker's corner thing there?
I got into that, but it's like fucking. In Britain terms, it's very far away from me.
Yeah. Okay.
Not in American terms.
That would make a great video, though. If you ever do, that would make a great video.
Like, I live near Liverpool and like Manchester, and there's lots of people that do it there. And every time there's people that do it in my town centre, and every time I always shout. I always say things. I always do. If they're okay with shouting about stuff, then they should be all right with me shouting about stuff. Right. And they don't like that I follow them afterwards. Well, then they shouldn't follow people beforehand.
One of them little mini megaphones yelling in everybody's ears.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
get some feedback just to annoy them a little more.
Yeah, and I lie a little bit. I say I can read Hebrew, and it's not true. I can't read Hebrew, but I know where some of the mistranslations come from. It just makes the conversation easier.
It's not the point. Yeah.
And I need to film it because it's really good. Because
Yeah.
these people don't know anything. They get taught by somebody that teaches them how to shout at people on the road. And you're like, okay.
I know there's a lot of videos, especially the Muslims like going to that speaker's corner and putting out videos.
Yeah.
So Back before Bill Maher was a complete asshole, there's a good video of him arguing with people in that
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, Bill Maher had
he
a
showed
number
up
of
at
great
Ken
things.
Ham's place. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Bill
Religulous
Maher,
is a great film, man.
Bill Maher is an idiot now, but has like a lot of stuff that was really good in the past. That was
He's always been an
constructive.
arrogant fucking asshole, but
Yeah,
like there's some real good shit there. Like
Yeah.
Religulous was really good. There's some good years of fucking
not a stupid person, Bill Maher.
I
Yeah,
sometimes
the old Bill Maher, the newer ones kind of slipped
not
in
an
a little bit.
uneducated person. I'll
Bill
say.
Maher's always been like anti-vax and a few other things, though.
Yeah, there's always been, and again though, it's like I don't
John
I don't
Stewart was
mind
for a
that.
while and then apologized for it, and it's one of the things that made me love him more.
Well, I don't care what crazy belief people hold.
I do a little bit.
It's whenever they start doing, it's the things they do with it that's the problem, Like, and I know that one's a result of the other, so it's kind of the same. Like,
No, Crystal, you're right. Yes, there's a lot of other shit he did is really bad, especially the last like 10 years. But
Yeah.
Religulous is a film that people should go and watch.
Yeah, and like even though Religulous isn't the best like argument or whatever you want to call it, like it's not, it doesn't explore a whole lot of things that it could have that would have been great. But
I don't think that was the point of that film, though.
But it did go mainstream and put a lot of eyes on it, and it was just edgy enough at the time to be able to be seen, by a lot of people.
I thought it was weird today. It came across somebody linking a video of Bill Maher saying that fat shaming needs to stop, and I was like, wow, Bill Maher not saying the stupid side?
Yeah, Bill Maher's not awful on everything. It's getting closer to being that way, but
Do you know what it is? I know exactly what changed Bill Maher. Bill
What
Maher's
day
always
it
been
is,
wrong on some things, but he got angry in like 2015 that the California government didn't fix a thing like a wire in his house, right? And he really started railing against liberals after that. It's fucking mental. Watching him turn into like a fascist acceptor is like watching Jon Stewart crash really hard. It was mental. I used to really like Bill Maher. I always thought he was a smug prick, but like he said some good things and approached things because I always thought liberals were a bit wimpy, and he would attack stuff. Like it's one of the reasons I liked Christopher Hitchens. You know what I mean? I didn't agree with everything he said or did, but when he was proved wrong, he went okay.
Yeah,
and he was a voracious defender of what he thought, and that's what I loved about Colin.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like at least some of these people were honest, and they they had a little bit of integrity about them, even if they had some poor views or whatever. Still, but unfortunately, it doesn't stay that way.
No. So many people I used to admire that have gone really bad within the past 10 years.
That's what I said about the politics. It's like even if people had extreme views and were in sketchy organizations and everything, there always seemed to be some duty to country, Yeah. And it doesn't seem to be duty to country. It's duty to me.
Well, it's one thing whenever it's over policies, but then whenever it gets to you're okay with taking the rights of some people, and you're okay with
going backwards, basically.
Yeah, marginalized and groups and things like that. Like, fuck all that shit. Like that's just, for me, that's the point to where you've gone too far.
I can't remember there any president that wasn't looking forward rather than wanting to go backward. You know?
Sure.
What? And like I say, even if they were faking it and everything else, at least they got out there and they said, hey, we're still all Americans, the USA, Uncle Sam, all this stuff. And everybody would go, yeah. And even though you disagreed and everything, you'd shake hands and you'd say, yeah, it's still Uncle Sam, and now you got There's there's a big lack of duty and honor and all those kind of things.
The game changed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, because people started learning things. And people started thinking for themselves and went, maybe if we work together. And that was bad for rich people. So rich people went, we shouldn't do this anymore. Why are we accepting this?
Yeah.
And the thing is people getting like, I'm sick of getting people getting surprised by stuff Trump's doing. Now, it's like he said he was going to do it all. Stop being surprised by it. And also, all this shit has been in motion since at least the 80s. At least.
Yeah.
Because Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan set up the path we're on right now in a lot of ways. And it's insane. And
I think
people don't think about things past 20 minutes ago. People don't think about when, the Supreme Court said, hey, money equals speech, or that corporations equals people. And those were years apart. The repealing of Glass-Steagall, so many of these things that fucked people from years ago that nobody gives a flying fuck about.
Well, I think
that's a conspiracy theory, and you're like, all right.
I think the other side of that is that was it? You have to be kind of looking at, was it part of the plan, or is it just that it was so careless that it allowed for this thing?
No, it wasn't particularly a plan for Trump, but it was that the rich were to become the overarching leaders again. It was all about.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's always been part of the plan. Yeah.
Yeah, but Thatcher and Reagan did a lot of this in the 80s, like a lot. Reagan got to do it because everybody hated Carter, because Carter sat everyone down and said, "You're all a bunch of selfish assholes, and really, we need to rethink how we live, and we can be better." And everybody went, "Who's this motherfucker saying we're all assholes?"
The Christian.
Yeah, of course. No hate like Christian love.
Except for Jimmy Carter.
Well,
nicest man in history, demonized by an entire half of the population because he said, maybe we should be nice to each other a little bit and not kill each other incessantly. And, I'm just a humble peanut farmer. Can we not just get along?
Yeah. Well,
Jimmy Carter said, Jesus never said anything about LGBTQ folks. And I think, Jesus taught to love and all these things and everything. And hey, same thing with Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers was told one time, you need to go over there and preach to that person. They're that heathen over there, such and such. And Mr. Rogers went over and sat down and talked with him. He didn't preach one fucking word to him.
Wow.
It's like good people. It gives you hope in this mess that there's these good people.
There are wonderful people. Sorry, Jester. Go ahead.
I actually have an interesting comment on that one, in that I was always that type when I was a Christian that I refused to preach. I just let people know that I was a Christian. And I would just be there for people. It's kind of a thing that I hold to this day, that I'm just like, I'll just let you know what, like, I'll be, if you ask, then yes, I'll say I'm an atheist, but I'm not going to preach about it. And, it's weird. I have 3 people who've told me that they moved to Christianity back then because of me. And only because of me. So, Christians, you might want to think about that.
Stop being such a-holes. Gosh.
Weird concept. People don't like assholes. But if you're just a cool, chill person to hang out with, they want to be like you. Weird concept that. I don't know why.
There's this Christian made a video, and he can't for the life of him figure out why every time he goes to a Christian video somewhere, there's all these negative comments. But when he went and he looked at some indigenous folks here in this country doing their traditional religions and their ceremonies and everything and stuff, all the comments were very supportive of, oh, how beautiful, what a nice video and everything. and he just couldn't figure out why. And it's like, maybe you need to think about it a little more. You know, why are you getting all those negative comments? Think about it. Think about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but people don't want to be nice. They just want people to be nice to them. That's the problem.
Well, I don't think anybody's like, I want to be full of shit. Like, you know, like.
Yeah, you're completely wrong. There's totally people like that.
Well, I think there's people that it's like a direct, like, grift that are just like, I want to be as stupid as possible to
there's people that directly just love lying to people and causing problems.
Trolls, yeah, I agree.
No, not just trolls. It's part of a sociopathic tendency. There's a lot of anti-personnel disorders that lead to that sort of thing, that make people just want to be dicks.
We've talked to Jim Boob.
I don't.
Right, Joe?
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons the nature of Trump works, because people want to be assholes, and Trump gives them the ability to do that.
Oh,
and that's what they want.
Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%. He makes it okay to be that way. Like, that's
because being nice is hard. People don't want to be held to standards. They want to.
Jim Boob's got 30,000 subscribers, and Wilson and all his little circle of buddies there. Yeah, they've all got tens of thousands of subscribers.
I mean,
right? Do you ever think we're part of the problem with that?
Well, like, let's take the term DEI.
Feeding it.
Subscribe. No. Do you ever think that part of the reason all these, like, I know there's more people in general, but also like they don't subscribe to us to debunk us, but we subscribe to them to debunk them.
I don't. But
I don't. I just stick it in one of my saved files, and that way, like Donnie Deals, I refuse to subscribe. I just go looking for it when I want to.
I subscribe to a couple that I talk to often, that I'm on good.
I mean, I don't subscribe to trolls like Jimbo, but like, you know.
No.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm subscribed to anybody on that.
So
look them up even.
Let's talk about the term DEI hire. So, what I mean whenever I say Trump's making it okay to behave in this way is that, like,
DEI is not what it's called, isn't it?
DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Another acronym. It's not the full acronym.
No, it's not. This is just the term commonly used, and that's kind of the point I'm getting at.
I'm sorry.
Before you started hearing Republicans first saying this term about Kamala Harris and other people, this is, I think anyway, that this is something that is extremely offensive and you shouldn't be saying to anyone. But they overnight made it okay. And so then you start seeing all of their followers saying this as an undercover way to say various other offensive terms.
That's part of the dehumanization. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think that you see a lot of them doing that, like things that wouldn't been okay, like they all of a sudden like make it like it's okay to do this thing, and you see the cult-like tendencies where then you have they'll even say on the news, this will probably cause violence at FBI offices or blah blah blah, whatever, and it's like, because they know, because it's changing the game.
Yeah.
Well, they actuated what everyone knew. If you don't take part in the system, nothing happens to you.
Right.
Because the system works because we all agree it works. So if you don't agree, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Especially when you have money. Especially when people have turned having money into a game. And like, so there's a thing over here that I from a guy called James O'Brien. He says it's the footballification of stuff. So it's about turning people into teams, and people don't give a shit about what's going on. They have someone they're rooting for.
Oh yeah,
It's against that person against other people, and they don't give a shit about what really goes on in the real world because they convince themselves that the real world is far too complicated for them to have any grasp on. So why bother? I'm just a simple person doing a simple person thing. So I'm going to pick a team of someone that sounds good, and that's it. Because everybody only reads the headlines, and they never read what's after the headline.
Right. Yeah, and I think the uninformed is not just one group of people, right? You have like
It's most people.
everything from purposely ignorant about issues to flat out liars and things. But the you have a lot of the big number of people that are uninformed about these what's actually going on in things. You have an even smaller number though of people that you start getting down to of okay, they don't know about this, but they also hold this position and that position, and through things like Cambridge Analytica and stuff, they've got so many data points on people, they know how to trigger everyone.
Hey, I'm from Britain, man. That was the heart of Cambridge Analytica. I remember that shit.
Yeah.
The last job I fucking had, I got branded a conspiracy theorist because I was talking about Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah, I've had that too.
I actually know someone who worked for them and told me about what they were doing. That's what Beard's missus worked for Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah.
And she didn't even know what she was doing at the time, right?
Yeah.
And she was telling me about the things they had to do for work, and then it came out like a couple of years later about actually what was happening there, and it's like, yeah, it's exactly because they were selling everybody's information on to everyone. And do you know what? I got scared. Do you know what, Joe? We're old.
Do you remember Facebook having a thing called the Hackers Cup?
No.
They used to do multiple times a year. They would do these contests, and they would give you
I can
5.
hear you. I'm just going over you.
Okay, they would give you 5 hacker questions, usually based in Python or C+ or whatever. But you would work through those problems, and depending on how well you did and how fast and all that stuff, you would move on to the next question and the next question. And the people who made it to the end got jobs at Facebook for winning the Hacker Cup because that was kind of their thing. So back at the time that Cambridge Analytica was collecting a lot of its data, I was fancied myself a wannabe hacker. And so I was trying to, I think I was still in college at the time. I'm almost certain I was. I was trying to win that hacker event, and I made it to like the 5th question once, and still had a chance by the 5th question, I'll say. But I never really got close to winning. But because of that, though, I was very much in circles talking about things going on Facebook at the time. And so I remember they didn't say why or anything, but they said that all of these surveys and the asking questions about what does this make you feel and all that different shit, they would ask people simple little questions. And people loved doing this on Facebook at the time. And they had said that it was data collection or something for another company that had came out. And I was like, why would they want to know those things? Yeah. And
well, that was with the friend I knew that was working for them. They weren't doing the hacking side of it, and they weren't doing the IT side of it. They were doing the sales side of it, right? So they were telling about how they were. I wish I could remember more specifics. They were talking about how they were actually selling the data from Facebook to other people and all that stuff because they were on the marketing side.
Yeah. That shit was wild back then anyway because they got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
And
that's why it's really big over him, man. Because it was all.
Well, most people don't know that part of it, that they got in trouble for it and then did it anyway, kind of thing. So because of collecting people's data and selling it, and but they didn't catch the Cambridge Analytica part. Just the they knew that they were selling data to Cambridge Analytica, but they didn't know what was to come of it. And I have to say, of devious supervillain plans, Mark Zuckerberg scores a point there.
And now when you say something, your little box picks it up, and you've got ads coming across your phone or Facebook or.
Jeff Bezos definitely gets one.
It's mental how correct in some ways Tomorrow Never Dies was.
Fair enough.
And I don't know what people say when I'm streaming, but every once in a while, somebody says something and my box goes off and and it turns my TV on. I'm like,
oh yeah,
pain in the ass.
Do you know what? It was the thing that told me that I was old or I was getting old, right? A while ago, I was with a few friends, and they were like, they're IT people, right? And then they said, oh, like they were complaining because I don't have a mobile, right? And they were complaining about me not having a mobile, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't like the idea of just like these people just like watching everything I do, collecting all this data, blah 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 blah. And they're like, yeah, but that's just what everything does, so just deal with it. And I'm like, I'm old. I'm the old guy now. Back in my day, we could do things anonymously without, the Googles and the Amazon paying attention to my GPS location. And I had to walk 20 feet to the nearest bus stop. Like, it just made me feel so old because I'm like, oh, Jesus. They're just used to it now. We're fucked. Blade Runner is coming. Blade Runner mixed with Idiocracy.
You remember
Demolition Man?
You remember the Silk Road thing?
Which one?
Well, the drug thing.
Oh yeah.
Not the historical one. Why would we talk about that?
Sorry,
they're both historical now.
Yeah. Technically, you're right.
Although before we get away from it, I wish I could be the old man in the room talking about how I walked 20 feet to a bus stop instead of it being like 5 fucking miles away.
Yeah.
But I think about that shit as well. It's like, because I remember being a kid before the internet, and it's like, if I wanted to know if my friends were going to do things, I had to knock on the front door.
Yeah. Well,
or worse yet, you call your friend's house and their parents answer, and they weren't in the mood for one of the kids to be calling, and I'm sorry, I was just looking for my friend.
My childhood was dial-up, so you would call, and somebody would, and you had this chance of a very annoyed adult answering and saying, listen, you need to call back later. We're about to go on the internet.
My AOL disc is almost done.
Or if they were nice, they would say, I'll have Timmy call you back after we're done using the internet. And then you get a call at like 10:15 at night.
Well, I went to a tiny independent school in rural Kentucky. The school was K through 6 and had about 250 people in it. Very small school, very small town. And we didn't get internet in the school until I was in like 6th grade. Which would have been like 1996, 97.
Wow.
No, 95.
We didn't have the internet yet.
Man, I graduated at 16 in Britain in 2003. We still didn't have an internet.
Oh, well. Not that bad, Kentucky.
Yeah, that didn't come about till like the end of high school. That was just
now.
Barely.
See, in high school, we had computer labs with the internet, but you had to take keyboarding in them because they were still like I did keyboarding on a typewriter in middle school, and then in high school,
I did it in high school. Yeah.
We had computers, but they switched to you did your keyboarding on those because they didn't know what the fuck to do with them, right? So they just kind of sat there for a few years and they wouldn't let you get on the internet and shit.
I remember when my mom was, I think she was technically called a clerk or something, but she was a secretary where she worked at a desk in an office, Anyway, I remember when they all had to go get trained for these new things called word processors. And I was like, and I didn't have a clue what they were talking about. And basically all that meant was, going from a typewriter to a keyboard and a monitor. And all the ladies had to go take classes in the evening to learn word processing. And I just thought she was learning some kind of an office thing, or you know what I mean? Because and here, that was the transition of they were tossing the typewriters.
Well, folks, I hate for the sudden stop here, but we're going to wrap this up. As much as I want to talk about high school keyboarding and the internet being introduced, which is a fascinating conversation that I would love to have with you guys, but it's getting late here in the Kentucky Atheist household. So let's do this. Dave joined last, so we'll ask Dave first. What's up, Dave? What you got going on over at Captive Desk?
We do Saturday Night the Atheists every Saturday, and I've been doing the Night Watch during the week, so watch for me in the evenings.
Right on. And Zach, what do you got going on over at the Shaking Fist?
So on Saturday, I released a parody video for the parody music video of Another Pope Bites the Dust. If that's underloved, you should all go watch that. I stream on Mondays, making fun of theists. I'm now streaming on Tuesdays with Jimmy Tux as we read through one of Braxton Hunter's core facts argument books about how we should definitely argue for God and how to do it the best way. So that's fun.
Now, let me say the Another Pope Bites the Dust is inspired by a conversation in the comments on one of my videos. Is that correct?
That is also 100 billion% true. It is. I was going to do another one. What was I going to do? I wasn't going to do Another Pope Bites the Dust. I was going to do something else, wasn't I? I can't remember, so it doesn't matter.
It'll be something.
Yeah.
But yeah, then somebody said it in the comments, and I'm like, no, I need to do that now. So then,
Yeah,
but it's very good. It's very underloved.
Go watch that video. It's a great video. You'll love that video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely
Zach makes good stuff.
Go subscribe to Dave and Zach at the Captive Desk and the Shaking Fist, respectively.
We have Bigfoot emojis now. All the Bigfoot fans out there, you can become a member. Yeah, you can become a member now. And if you look at my avatar right here, that's the latest emoji I just added. That's Answers in Atheism on toast. That's a nod to Mike over to Answers in Atheism. And as soon as I get a few more, I said I got Joe and Bree and a couple other great folks on YouTube. So we've done a lot with each other's channels and stuff. And so, as the ranking comes down from all the stuff I've done with the folks, because I didn't want to have too many Bigfoot emojis. So I was like, I'm going to spread it around a little bit. So we're going to have some ones like this. I think there might be a hat that says Kentucky Atheist on it, because I think that'd make a good emoji right there. So.
Well, go over and send Dave a $1 or something on there just to show
and go help Zach get closer, because he's getting there.
Yeah. Well, that was going to be my next statement is Zach over at the Steak and Fish. What the fuck?
Steak and Shake.
We're Steak and Fish.
Joe's hungry. He's thinking Steak and Shake.
Steak and Fish. I remember I had her put my dinner in the fridge earlier.
I know. You're due.
I'm looking for the steak. Believe me, it's not Steak and Fish. But anyway, go check out Zach over at the Steak and Fist.
Pretty
Zach is hilarious, and
I make very good content, and it's very
your knowledge about things also.
I'm not trying to convince people. I'm just trying to make you all laugh.
But you're very smart, motherfucker. Jeez. Just take the compliment.
It's hard. Okay.
You're no, I put you in the same category as like a Stephanie Helms, like where you just know so much about so many fucking different things that it's like I'll say something and you'll be like, well, in the 1600s they wrote this about that, and and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, who remembers that?
Hey, it's because we both lived in Maine for extended periods and it's in the water. That's all it is. We're just a different type of people.
In that specific way, Stephanie Helms does the same thing to me. Like, I'll say something and she'll be like, well, Joe, I actually know about this thing. And, and I love that, though. So it's a great time. So it's funny and educational, which is amazing.
Zach's very talented, and he sings and dances, and you just don't know what he's going to do next. So.
I am but here for all of your amusement.
And I think that's all that I got.
And Jester.
No, I got something special for Jester.
Okay.
We've got the new Ark Encounter ad, which you'll be seeing more of. We had to change up Vostrano and Jay Bundy, and just a new ad that Jess made that's awesome. And so if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can get a hold of me. You can go to arkencounterprotest.com there at the top, and all the info's there. Let me know if you need anything at all. The KentuckyAtheist@gmail.com. I think that concludes business. Jester, how are you today, sir?
We will redact that for content.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I'm glad you joined. I would have sent you a link from the very beginning, but we hadn't talked, so I didn't think you were gonna join today. But I'm glad you did.
Yeah, things have just been happening. A friend is in trouble, and we're trying to get them out of danger. So,
Well, that's well, sometimes you're trying to help.
Oh yeah, I have been trying to reach out to people in the community who might know a lot more about getting people out of dangerous situations. This one is essentially disability abuse. So if anybody knows anything about that, resources, especially around the Florida area, I am Ninjust on Discord, and I'm very interested in hearing from anybody.
Right on. Well, if you send me that link, or you can post it in chat if you want, but if you send it to me, I'll put it in the description of this video so people can see it down there for your contact info. I don't have it because you don't do YouTube videos, so.
Well, it's just Ninjust is the user.
Discord, right?
Yeah, Discord.
Okay.
On Discord.
All right, I got you. I can take care of that.
So,
all right, well, that's all I got for everybody. I'm not sure what we got coming up just yet. There's I've got a few different guests that are kind of like maybes and stuff coming up, so I haven't been able to get things pinned down. But I've got some great guests coming up. I just know I can't say when, so I'm not gonna announce it. But go check out arkencounterprotest.com. Thank all of you for coming and watching, and those of you that support the channel through memberships and all that. But those that subscribe, every one of you that subscribes is just as important to me as well, and I appreciate it deeply. So thank you all for even watching. Goodbye.